Hi everybody, it's Terry with Crafty Book Nerd, and today I'm going to share with you something I've not done yet on YouTube, and that's make a mini album. I don't know about you, but I've got tons of 6x6 paper pads. I probably have 50, 60, who knows. I've lost count. I've got them in several locations. They're all over the place. I love them, but I need to make some books that I can use these papers in, and so we're going to focus on that today. But first, you know what time it is. Time for our quote of the day. And today our quote says, "Life is short, so do the things that make you happy. Be with those who make you happy. Look for the good in every day, even if some days you have to look a little harder." And that's our quote for the day. So I'm going to do my best to stay in frame while we're doing this, because we're going to have some big sheets here in front of us. So what I wanted to do is, like I said, I've got tons of these 6x6 paper pads. I absolutely love them, and I thought, what can I do with all of these? So I'm going to show you how to make a mini book that you can use these papers in. What you're going to need today for your supplies, let's put these down. You're going to need, I'm using Kraft paper. You could use black, you could use white, whatever you have. This is the Paper Studio that I'm using for this project today. You're also going to need some glue. Now, I'm using some bookbinding tape as my tie-back, but if you've got tie-backs, you can use that as well. You're going to need some score tape. I'm going to be using 1 inch and 3/8 inch. Of course, you're going to need some scissors and maybe a ruler, but not much more than that, I don't think. So, let's get started on this awesome book. I have already made some of the pages, but I'm going to go through that with you, and I'm going to leave all the measurements in the description box below so you can see those. So I thought we'd start first with the covers. What I did here is I took two 12x12 sheets of paper, and I left them at 12, and then I cut them to 9. So I've got two 9x12 sheets. And then I put a piece of score tape, and I attached those together like so. Okay, so that's two 12x12s cut to 9x12 and then attached. And like I said, I'm going to have all these measurements in the description box below. So if you've missed something, then you can catch up on that by reading those. And this will probably be more than one part of this video. So we'll see how far we can go. So that's that. So the first thing we're going to do, like I said, are our covers and our spine. You will need 2 pieces that are 7x7, and this is cut from Chipboard. That's your front cover and your back cover. And then for your spine, you will need a piece that is 2x7. Okay, so let's go ahead and get those pieces down. And this is where I use my bookbinding tape, and I got this from Amazon, and I will leave a link below to that. I like to use it in between so that I don't have to worry about anything cracking, and my book will hold together quite well. And so what I'm going to do, and this stuff is very sticky, I usually come up here. I always put a piece right down that center part because I want to make sure that that is not going to tear. And this bookbinding tape is wonderful and will keep it from doing that. So now I'm going to cut that like so. Okay. Now this is going to go on top of it. And as you can see, that's not going to be enough to give me some on each side. And so what I may do is move this over a little bit and then put one more piece so that I can have some space for my spine to go. And I'm going to put this here. Got a little wrinkly. I think it's going to be all good. Put that down. My scissors. As you can see, it's very sticky. Wants to stick to the scissors. It's not the easiest thing to cut. Sorry if I got out of frame there. Okay, so I'm going to get my bone folder, which is another tool you will need, and just give that a good burnish. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come with my spine and just make sure I've got some of the tape showing on each side so that when I line my covers up, I've got that in between so it doesn't rip. So I'm going to put some score pal tape on the back of my spine, which is 2 by 7. Okay, should be able to fit 2 pieces here. Get in frame. I lost my little thing that I used to cut with. You know, you think you have all your stuff ready to go, and then you find out, no, you don't. I'll just use this. This works. There we go. Okay, and another piece here. So, I always put my spine down first. That way I can see where my other pieces will go. And I put my ruler up here so I can get everything lined up. And you should, when you cut this 9, you will end up having 1 inch at the top to wrap and 1 inch at the bottom. You'll have more on the sides, but I always cut that off last just to make sure that I don't cut myself short. So, let's do this. So, of course, we have to talk a little bit about the weather. I don't know how it is where you are, but in Louisiana, let me tell you, we are having like 102, 103, and that's not even the feels like temperature. That's just the regular temperature. It's hot. Okay, so I'm going to leave that little space there and line that up and press her down. Okay, now I'm going to take my covers, put some tape on the back of those. I don't usually cover the whole thing. I just put usually a piece there, a piece here. I do put a piece here. And you don't want your covers to come undone, so you need to make sure that they are covered well. Some people cover the whole thing. The tape is not cheap, as you know, so I try not to cover all of it, and then I do a piece in the center there. So there's one cover. Let's do cover number 2. And cover number 3. Now, I will tell you this about this book. I have watched lots of people on YouTube do books. And so what I've done is I've just taken a combination of different ones that I have seen, and I planned this one out to use my 6x6 paper pad. So you may see elements in this book that you've seen in someone else's book. I'm not saying this is an original design because it probably isn't. There's a lot out there, and so I'm sure that somebody has done something similar. And like I said, my ideas come from a lot of people that I watch on YouTube. So I don't want to claim that this is an original project. It's just one I thought would be great to share with you because of the fact that you might have 6x6 paper pads. And if you don't have 6x6 paper pads, that's okay. You can still use your 6x12 designer paper in this book. It's just that I designed it specifically for those types of paper pads. Now, I eyeball this. Some people make a shim and do something like that with the shim, but I've gotten pretty good at eyeballing it. The main thing is you want to keep this top up here even and the bottom even with your spine piece. So that is looking pretty good to me. I'm gonna stick her down. Okay. All right, get the front cover going on. Sticking to me, of course. It always does that, you know. All right, so now we're going to come over here. Don't worry about all that little tape there. And like I said, I want to make sure that I'm getting this even with this. You see that? And that is looking pretty good. Stick her down. Then what I like to do is I like to go over it really good like this. And then I turn it over and I do it this way to make sure those covers are nice and stuck down. Okay. Now what I like to do is I like to take my 1-inch tape, because this is 1 inch up here, and come around the top like so. Might be a little less than 1 inch if we can get my chipboard right in the right place, but it's close enough. And there, and then run a piece here. I like doing that with the 1 inch because then I know that I'm getting 1 inch cover all the way around my chipboard. And 1 inch there, okay? And as you can see, I've got some excess on each end. So that will just fit in my paper trimmer, and I will just trim that excess off. Okay. Like I said, you could cut that off ahead of time if you figured all out the measurements, but I'm never sure about my spacing here, and I don't want to take a chance that I don't have enough, so I always wait. All right, so that. Now what I like to do is just kind of work my paper before I take my tape off. Just kind of work your paper, and so that you can kind of train that paper how you want it to go. You're in charge of the paper, so you make it do. And it's a really good idea to use a bone folder for this, because then you can wrap that around and really get it nice and bendy. Bendy. Is that even a word? Oh, goodness. So, okay. So this is just to kind of help me when I take the tape off to have a pre-folded spot there. Turn it around. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. Lots of moving around here. Okay. All right. That. Now what you have to do next is miter your corners. If you've done mini books before, you know about mitering corners. I can pretty much eyeball it now because I've done it so much, but there are a couple different tools out there on the market. This is one of the tools, this little precision, this little perfect trim. And if this is still sold, I'll leave a link. But what you do is you just, it says to go by the width of your chipboard, but I usually just take one spot here and I kind of look at it because you want to come out a little ways from your chipboard. They give you different thicknesses for the chipboard. So that's supposed to kind of help you to know where to put it. But if you line it up like that, or you might have another way that you do it. I have another tool too. I'm not seeing it at this moment, so I don't know where it is. So then I'm going to find my ink pen and just draw a line right there to know kind of where to cut it, and do that on all 4 of the corners. Just remember that you can always cut more off, but if you cut it too short, then you can't. Once you've cut it too short, you cannot go back and redo it. So you need to remember that. And the last one. Okay. Like I said, I kind of just eyeball it. You want it to meet up like this when it folds over, so you can have a nice corner on your book. I think that one looks like it was too close, so I'm going to come in a little bit. Okay. All right. The last one. And that looks all good. Right, so now, turn this back around. I'll go ahead and take all my tape off. I think everybody hates making the covers worse than anything. This is my least favorite part of the book. I usually do it first before I do the pages or anything, because this is my least favorite part of the whole process. And you can see my tape's hanging over a little bit, but that's not a problem. I just fold it back over like so. Okay, so now I'm going to take this top one, and I'm going to come down where I had practiced with it, push it down really good. I'm going to take my bone folder, all push down. Ooh, almost got that corner too short. I think it's going to be okay. Come over here with the bottom, and now I'm going to come right here with my side, that down. Come here with this one. Yep, you see that top one? Whoo, it was close, but I'm okay. It's gonna be okay. And then I'm gonna come here to the middle where my spine is, and just push that down with my bone folder, and then just gently work that up. Okay, and there's your cover. All right, not too bad. How are we doing on time? 14 minutes, okay. Now you're gonna have to cover this inside with some paper after you put your spine down. Your hinge. You're gonna put your hinge down first, and then we'll cover this. Now the hinge that I used, that is my favorite, is Kathy Order's Hidden Hinge Plus. It is patented, and she does have a license, and so that I cannot teach this to you because I've not bought the license yet, so I can't teach you how to make this hinge. But what I can do is I can give you a link to her YouTube where she shows you how to make the hinge, okay? So it is the Hidden Hinge Plus that I used, all right? And for that Hidden Hinge Plus, I cut my sheet to, I lost my paper. I cut it to, I may have to put that in the comments. But anyway, I cut this part. It was 11 by 6 1/4. 11 by 6 1/4. And then you score it according to how she does the Hidden Hinge Plus, okay? And like I said, I'll link that, and you can go watch her video to make your hinge. Basically, the hinge is a little bit shorter than your book because it has to fit on the pages that we make. So I'm going to take this tape off. What I usually like to do first is I take my ruler and I find my center point. I did have a pencil, and of course now I can't find the pencil. All right. I don't really want to do it with a pen, so there's my pencil. All right. So I'm using my 10 ruler here, and I'm going to find the center and put me a little pencil mark. Come back and erase. That way I know that this this hinge that's the center, because we're doing 3 pages, the hinge that's the center is going to go here, and I've got to stand up to see this. Sorry if my head's in the way. And I'll line that middle hinge up with my mark, and then top and bottom. Okay. And press that down. And then I'm going to come back here. I don't take all my tape off at once. I just find that way, if it does mess up, I've got a little bit of time to move it before everything sticks at once. Okay. I said, I'm sorry if my head's in the way. It might be. I'm not sure. Okay, and then just make sure that's still lined up. That. Okay, it's in. I'm just going to give it a really good burnish with my bone folder. Okay, let's get these scraps picked up. Not too bad. Okay. Oh, and I covered the pencil mark, so I don't even have to worry about erasing it. So let's get this to fold just a little bit, like so. Okay. All right, looking pretty good there. If that acts like that wants to come up, don't worry about it, because we're going to put some paper on top of it. But that looks like I need to put a little bit of glue in here. Ooh, too much glue. Just press it down. All right. So let's see. We need a piece to cover. We know that was a 7 by 7. So I'm going to get a piece of paper, and I'm going to do it just a little less than 7 by 7 to cover that inside part. So I'm going to need 2 sheets. And I should be able to cut both of these at the same time. I hope you can still see me in frame. Get this out of the way. Okay. I'm going to go like 1 or 2 marks just under 7. And if I need to cut it some more, then I will. Okay. So, right. Put those scraps to the side. Look back over here. As you can see, that is going to work pretty good. And for these, I don't use tape. I just use glue. Okay, so let's get some glue. And I use art glitter glue. Just use your favorite adhesive, whatever you would like. Make sure you don't go over that folded edge. Just line it up. And we are going to put a pocket in here. So, okay, good. This is the other side. So you see, you get those flaps covered. Try to line it up on the way it is up there. It does not have to be perfect. Okay, give that a good burnish. All right. Oh, didn't burnish that too good, did I? Wants to come up. No coming up. I have to put some more glue under there. Let's see what it's doing. Sometimes you have to show it who's boss. Still wants to. Oh, you know what it is? I've got it a little too close to that seam there. Let me pull it up just to, what I thought it was. That's gonna be good. And I'll just show you how to do one pocket, but I'm gonna put a front and a back pocket, and I'm just gonna show you how to do one. So you know that this is 7, and so we have to do our pocket and score it. So our pocket needs to be 8 by, and then you can usually decide. I usually do about, so this is just a 7 by 7 cover. I think we'll go with 3.5. So I'm gonna do a 7 by 3.5. And you should have some scraps left. Let's see if this one will work here. 3.5. There's my 3.5. Okay. And then 7. And like I said, I'm gonna just show one pocket, and then you can make the other one, okay? And I'm not gonna worry about getting my scoreboard out. I'm just gonna use my cutter and go to a 1/2 here and score. I'm gonna score 1/2 on 3 sides for your pocket. And 1/2 here. Okay. Now, you have to miter these. Basically, you're cutting out this little triangle here, and if you just go right where those intersect, then it will be perfect. And I'm going to fold those and burnish. And for my pockets, I always use glue, not tape, because if you use tape and you put something in the pocket, the item you put in the pocket can hang up on the tape. So let's just go ahead and put some glue. Woo, that is probably too much. My glue is very free-flowing today, it seems. All right, then I'll just go ahead and do this one on the front, and I'll do the back one later off camera, just so that you can see. Okay, something happened. I don't like it. What did I do? I thought I cut that to 8, but I don't think I did, y'all. All right, no worries, no worries. I wanted to cut it to 8. Let me see what I cut that piece of paper to. 7. It should have been 8. 8 by 3.5. That's okay. Not a problem. You know, that's always happens when you're doing something live. Because I'm not going back to edit. So we're going to go back to 3.5. And let's try this again at 8. Much better. Now, let's do score it. Half. So this isn't working. It's not going all the way to the end. My pocket's not going to work like that. And half. Okay, let's try again. Fold again. Burnish. Scissors. Cut again. That one. And that one. Okay. I'm going to get those burnished really good. Put the glue on them. Oh, got some glue there. All right, so that little bit of glue there is not going to hurt. Maybe I won't put so much glue this time because I kind of went crazy a while ago. It was just coming out so much. Okay, there we go. Now, let's do this. Oh, much better because it should go to the bottom and then it should go really close to the edge, but not over your mark here that folds. So I might need to move it. Another great reason for using glue is you have a little bit of time to wiggle it around. That I know. Okay. And then inside of that, you should be able to put about a 6.5 by 6.5 tag. So that was our pocket. And for some reason, I didn't do those directions for you, but I will write that now. And you'll need 2 of these pockets, if you want 2 pockets for the inside covers. And I cut those to 3.5 by 8. And then score at 1/2 on 3 sides. And you will need 2 of those if you decide to do a pocket on the back and the front. All right? Okay, what I'm going to show you next, how are we doing on time? Pretty good, 26 minutes, okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to do the pages. All 3 pages are the same. I've already made 2 of them, and I'm going to show you how to make 1 here on camera, and then we're going to put our pages in. And then we'll be ready to decorate, and I'll do that with you too. So let's move our book out of the way. And let's come over here. Whoops, stuff is falling. Okay. Here's the pages. I've already cut them and scored them, so they're ready to put together. So you will need, different numbers of these to put, if you're making the 3 pages, which is what I did. You will need 3 pieces of A. This is for 1 book. 3 pieces of A, and those are cut at 6.5 by 6.5. There is no scoring on those or anything, just 6.5 by 6.5, okay? For piece B, you will need 1 of these per page, so you will need a total of 3 of these, and these are cut to 7.5 by 3. They are scored on the 7.5 side at each end at 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch on the top and 1/2 inch on the bottom. Okay, that's B. C, you will need 2 of these per page. So for 3 pages, you will need a total of 6 of these. And these are cut to 7 by 5.5 and scored on the 7 inch at 1/2 inch. Remember, I'll have these measurements in the description box below. Piece D is 6.5 by 6, scored on the 6 inch side at 1/2 inch. You will need 2 of these per page, so you will need 6 of the D's. I've already folded, burnished, and put my tape on. E are your tags for the pockets for the pages. You will need 1 per page, so you will need 3 of these cut to 6 by 6. And then for your pockets inside, you can see the 6 by 6, you've got plenty of room, so you can make those a little bit bigger than that. I just didn't cut mine yet. Okay, so let's put this together. We're going to start with piece A. Make sure I'm in frame here. Piece A. We're going to take piece B. We're going to make sure that we've taped, folded, and burnished. Piece B is going to go on top of piece A on the left-hand side. Okay? And that is going to go on the left-hand side, lined up with the bottom, the left-hand edge, and the top. Okay? Once that's on, you're going to give that a good burn. So that's B is put on top of A. All right? This was A. Right? Next is C. You will need 2 pieces of C. I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish that a little better. Actually, these, you're going to put the tape on the inside. You want your tape to be this way because it's going to go inside like this. So you want, not on this side, you need your tape that way. So I just have to refold these marks. Okay? Take the tape off of C. And C is going to take your A and B that are connected. I'm going to turn this upside down, okay? The C part is going to go inside this flap, and this is what's going to attach to the hinge. So you're going to put your C part inside here. Do not go over your score mark. Put that down and burnish, okay? You're going to take the next C piece, do the same thing, okay? This one's already attached, the C one's attached. You're going to go in here and you're going to go down to the bottom. Yes, they are going to overlap. That's how they're going to do. Okay, and then you're going to put that one at the bottom, put it down, not going over your mark, and that. Okay, so now when I turn it around, this is what I've got. I've got this is B, this is where your piece E will go inside of here. Okay, right? Now that it's facing you like this, make sure you can see the B there. I'm going to turn it over to the back side. I'm going to take my 2 pieces of D, and we're kind of like building a little a waterfall. So we're going to turn it on the left-hand side, this part right here, the left-hand side after you turned it around, and we're going to put it flush here. It should fit right across there, like so, okay? And give that a burnish. We're kind of making a sideways waterfall. It's just gonna have 2 pieces though. And then we're gonna take our next D and we're gonna come under here, and you see where that 1/2 inch is there? You're going to line this one up right under that one, okay? If it's not straight, you pull it off. Mine is not straight. I did not like it. Okay. Because I can see that it's not quite straight, but I'm going to fix it. Okay. There we go. So you have like just a little 2-page waterfall, and you can see that's a little crooked. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of moving the paper up, and I'm going to go over here and re-burnish to fix that. Okay. And y'all, that's all that is to the page. That's it. Now, if you wanted to, you could put another pocket here, but I like having the big space. I like having this 6x6 space. So what's really cool about this book, it's very simple. And once you get all 3 pages in, and if you do pockets on the inside cover, the front cover, and the back cover, you get about 35 photos, 4x6 photos in this. And I'll show you the beauty of that when we decorate it. But so you've got 1 photo, 2, 3, 4, this will hold 2, that's 6. You turn it over, you've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And if you don't do 4x6 and you do smaller photos, then you can use those. Let me show you how a photo will look. Not that one. Here we go, here we go, here's one. So this is a 4x6 photo, and of course this is going landscape, and this is, you'll put your picture landscape. But what you'll do is we will put a mat on here, and then we will have some room for a decorative paper. So you've got landscape pictures, and then on this side, you've got places for your portraits. And then this one could hold landscape or portrait. You could do either way. And then on these that are in here, you could also do portrait or landscape, okay? So I think this is just a really cute little book. All right. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to take this out, is we're going to bring our book over here now, and we're going to put our pages in, and then that's going to be all of this video. And then we'll come back with the part 2 where we will decorate. All right. So let's pull this over. Let's get our 3 pages. Let me find my other 2 pages, what I've done with them. They are here. Okay. One of my pages is a little different. When you turn it over, the waterfall, I made it on the other side. So you can put the waterfall on the right or the left side. I just changed it up, and that's probably going to be my middle section piece right there. It's a little different. Okay? So when I do my hinges, let me kind of get these moving a little bit here. I've already got my tape on them. I use tape and glue, and I start with my back page here. Make sure I'm in frame. This out of the way. Okay, I take my tape off just one side, and I run just a little bit of glue. Give me a little wiggle room, okay? Now, the front of each page is this. You want to make sure that where you have that pocket page, that B that's on top of A and the C, that is what you're putting on the hinge, okay? So you're going to get that part there. You have to move some of that out of the way, and I'm going to line this up. And I'm going to go down to that first mark on my hinge. Do not go over that. I know it's probably a little hard to see. Do not go over that. Okay. Then I'm going to get that back under and push this down. Okay. That. We're going to come over here, and I'm going to take this piece of tape out. This is a great little tool, any kind of little tool like this that you might have. Works great. Pull that tape out. Put me a little bit of glue and push it down. And I got too much glue, but it's okay. Okay. And we put our first page in, right? What's cool about the hidden hinge is it helps your book to lay a little flatter. All right. Let's go to the second one. Pull that off. Put a little bit of glue. The glue is really coming out today. Okay, this is the one that I wanted to do where my pages were going this way for my waterfall, okay? So once again, make sure you've got your piece B that's on top of A. This is where your hinge goes, right in there, and that seals that up. Now, when you add your second page, you want to make sure that you're lined up top and bottom with your first page. Pretty close. That looks good. Press her down. Okay. To the back side. Oh, I think I had my tag in that one. Take that out. I don't want that to get hung up in my tape. Okay. I'm really excited about the decorating. The books are okay to make, but my absolutely favorite part is the decorating. And I'm excited to use my 6x6 paper pads to decorate this with y'all. I probably won't decorate every page. I'll probably just do one page to kind of give you an idea of how I mat my photos and how I do my decorating with the 6x6 paper pads. And then when I finish the whole thing, I will do a walkthrough of the whole book. Okay, last one. I've been getting too much glue. I'm going to try to get a little bit more. I should have used my fine tip, okay? Once again, make sure that this part, take that out, this A and B are there. I'm like, where's my hole? And I'm going to put that in there like so. Sorry if my head gets in the way. I'm trying to line it up. Okay, let's see. Pretty good. All right, push it down. Come to the back. Yeah, that could have went down a little bit more, but it'll be all right. Just take this piece off. Eventually, I think I will probably buy the license so that I can show y'all how to do my books with the Hidden Hinge Plus. And she does have a sale right now, and so we're everywhere. I will try to get that license as soon as I can. And then if I get it in time, then I can go back and show y'all how to do the hinge for this book. All right, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna put my 3 little taggies in there. That's 1 and 2 and 3. Now, of course, we only did 1 page and we did the covers, but that took us about 40 minutes. So I think that within an hour, you could probably make this little book. Look at that. Cool. That's looking good. All right. So that was part 1, and stay tuned for part 2, and we'll do some decorating. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, and like this video, and please share with your friends. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you next time on Crafty Book Nerd.